Welcome to Sarcastic Spinster, where I analyze the behavior of the minions of the great pussycat goddess, aka the women's movement. Because love her or hate her, we need to understand her. Please feel free to like, comment, or share below. So I want to talk about what the minions of the great pussycat goddess have been saying and doing in the wake of the Kavanaugh hearings. And just as a warning, they're kind of pissing me off. So, to start with, Alyssa Milano was sitting in the back of the room throughout all of the hearings, and what she came up with at the end was, well, he obviously doesn't have the temperament to be a justice. Really, Alyssa? Really? You think how he behaves after being called a rapist in the news, in the newspapers, and, in everybody's homes and grocery stores for the last 2 weeks is a better indication of how he'll behave on the bench than his 15 freaking years on the bench? Please reclaim your brain from the pussycat goddess, because you have obviously delegated your thought process over to her. Quite frankly, it would not surprise me at all to see a picture of Alyssa Milano sitting in the back of that room doing the, "Oh, great pussycat goddess." And then immediately after, all over news stations, all over Facebook, all over Twitter, there were comments and articles about, well, he obviously doesn't have the temperament to be a justice. So what did she do? She was sitting back there with her own magic pussycat goddess 8-ball, inputting bad temperament that fed out to everybody else's pussycat goddess magic 8-ball. So they're all like, okay, what is the official message? Shake, 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 shake. Doesn't have the temperament. Okay. And what really chaps my ass raw, and we're leaving out guilt or innocence of Kavanaugh in this because it's actually irrelevant to the conversation. I don't know if he's guilty or innocent. All I know is that there's no physical evidence. So, what makes me mad is that they had already established, yes, I love you too, baby. They had already established, that's why my camera is shaking too, it's the dogs. Them and their toxic canine masculinity, I know. I love them though. Which is why I allow them in here while I'm doing this. I feel bad when I shut them out. But they had already made up their minds. They were never going to vote for him. They were never going to support him. They made that really, really clear. So this isn't about why they don't support him. It's about why you're a piece of shit if you still do. Because remember, they are so right and so morally superior to you that it is okay to view you as less than human for disagreeing with them. So here comes this. Now, well, he obviously doesn't have the temperament. Because, it's really likely that you're going to get falsely accused of rape by one of the lawyers arguing a case in front of you while you're on the bench. You think that's a wise tactic to use? And how do we think that Ruth Bader Ginsburg would handle that? I mean, quite honestly, she would probably handle it with equanimity because I think she's already been dead for 3 months. But when she was younger, You think she would have tolerated that shit? I don't. But that's what it is. It's about why you're a piece of shit if you don't agree with them. That whole you disagree with us and with logic so flawed that typical minion superficial analysis that just, I mean, it hurts me deep in my soul to have things so poorly thought out. It's anyway. So yeah, I got a little problem with being constantly told I'm a piece of shit for disagreeing with bad logic. And then there's Kamala Harris. And Kamala Harris is obviously making a run to be head minion. That's the job she wants. And she's going to try and be president, I think. And there's no way the Democrat Party is going to put forth anybody who isn't a minion of the Pussycat Goddess. It's just they're probably going to be a minion of some other god other than Uncle Sam as well. Not saying Uncle Sam's a god. He's not. He's just a man. And maybe that's why they hate him. Maybe if it was Aunt Samantha, they'd like her better. But she comes out with a comment that says basically along the lines of, well, now we can have a conversation that's been long overdue. What conversation is that, Kamala? What conversation is that? Is that the conversation on whether or not men should be allowed to have any rights at all? Or whether they should just be ground under the heel of the Pussycat Goddess where they belong? We've had the conversation about taking accusations of sexual assault seriously. We have had the conversation about the impact that sexual assault has. And we are not at a point anymore where women are just completely ignored. They are taken seriously, but yes, we do require evidence. I know, horribly tyrannical of us to actually want to prove somebody's guilty before we convict him. So, I mean, okay, Kamala, let's have this conversation. Let's have this conversation. So, if we're going to automatically believe an accuser, and, the whole, we believe survivors, the unimaginative chant, if we're going to automatically believe the accusers, do we even need to have a court of law anymore? Are you a proponent of just taking men accused of sexual assault out behind the courthouse and putting a bullet in the back of their freaking head? Is that where you stand? Because that's kinda how you sound. A little problem with that. Men have rights. Why can't we agree on that? Why is that such a problem? And add to that, on top of that, okay, looking at the rights of men versus the rights of women, people have been getting fired from their jobs, suspended from their jobs, and banned on social media for daring to question the veracity or the sincerity or the truthfulness of any of Kavanaugh's accusers, and yet it's totally okay to call him a rapist. Sounds like a double standard. Whatever happened to equal protection under the law? He's not being protected. It's perfectly okay to assume he's lying when he says he didn't do it, but it's not okay to assume she's lying when she says he did. It's not okay to question even the possibility that a memory 35 years old is wrong. I got a problem with that. And I've got a problem with it from a free speech standpoint, too. There is a reason that our First Amendment is about the right to think for our freaking selves. A right to think for ourselves and to express that thought, whether it's in what we say, who we worship, what we print, or who we associate with. Think for yourself. I'm not asking you to believe me. I could be wrong. I am just analyzing information as I see it based on the way my own mind works. I could be wrong. I want you to think for yourself. If you come to a different conclusion, that's great. If you think I'm missing key pieces of information, please comment with it below. I would love to know it. But if we lose free speech, we have no freedom. No man may count himself free when he is told what he must believe. Free speech has always been an important thing to me because I've kind of been a mouthy bitch most of my life, and I'm sure that comes as a great surprise. But the right to hold an unpopular opinion has always been one of our most basic freedoms. Speech that everybody agrees with does not require protection. We have protection of speech because of unpopular opinions. And you know what? A lot of times it's the unpopular opinions that turn out to be right. It's the unpopular opinions that change the world, that advance society and advance justice. Women's suffrage was an unpopular opinion. Should we have silenced it then? It is clear that the Pussycat Goddess and her minions want to dominate the country. They want to dominate society and probably dominate the freaking world. And even as a woman, I've got a problem with that because I want the right to think for myself. I don't want the Pussycat Goddess telling me what I have to think and the opinion I have to take. Fuck that. Sorry, Dad. It is too precious a right and too important a right to treat as lightly as the minions are treating it now. And that really, really disturbs me. So I'm going to wrap it up here. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment below if you would. Hashtag Pussycat Goddess. Something to think about.